Good evening, everyone. It's our pleasure to welcome Smita ma'am to the event. So, before we start off, I'd like to give a small introduction about our speaker. And it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Smita Jha. She's a distinguished professor in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences at IIT Roorkee. With over 32 years of teaching experience, she has been a guiding force for students in developing their communication and linguistic skills. She has been instrumental in developing courses that help students overcome stage fright and enhance their communication abilities. She has published numerous papers in referred journals and authored several books. Her contributions through NPTEL have also been extremely significant, and she's offered a variety of courses helping students improve their soft skills and has uh, Today, we are privileged and deeply honored to have Dr. Jha share her insights on creative problem solving and decision making in research. Her broad experience in teaching and guiding students will provide us with valuable perspectives on these crucial skills. On behalf of Diplomacia and RaSoR, I heartily welcome ma'am to the session.
Thank you very much, Maria, and I'm really thankful to Diplomacia for giving me this opportunity to interact with young students. And the topic in question is indeed very meaningful because thinking critically and then problem solving, these two aspects are very important, not only for professional life, but for personal life also. So I'm here to share my PPT and then I will start. Uh, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yeah, but critical thinking and solving problem, as I said, that these two aspects are very, very important. So to start with, let us know what is thinking critically. We are in an age which is called the age of globalization, postmodernism, highly commercialized age. And as we had all such challenges in our life, so we have to enhance our thinking, uh, of course critical thinking, to face the challenges of life. And I have all empathy for today's youth, because today's youth has to face a number of problems in terms of the professional life, personal life, and there are other issues as well. The atmospheric issues, climatic issues. So let us think first or talk what is thinking critically. So as I said, that it will help you not only with academic but also everyday work and activity. For example, an academic assignment might ask you to research and analyze the effect of multitasking, referencing emerging, brain science, and offer creative solution to accomplishing work without multitasking. A life problem may deal with getting positive result uh, from a company with bad customer service, a company that you perceive is avoiding an issue with you as a customer. So, addressing these situations involves some conscious application of thinking skills. Well, thinking is an art, and critically thinking is a kind of intellectual art. So, let us discuss one by one that critical thinking is self directed, self disciplined, self monitored, and self corrected. See, we all are different from each other. The faculty of mind is different. One can work more than 20 hours, somebody less than 10 hours, but even then saying that I'm in great danger, I'm very tired. This all happens from the thinking, way, and also from our mind. In other words, critical thinking is a thought process that involves the evaluation, assessment, and reinterpretation of your own or others' idea and thought processes, which is also called cognitive process. Cognitive process, the thought process. So, critical thinking requires effort and dedication. Effort and dedication, but pays dividends for the time invested. I used to tell my student, BTech student, that life is a management and we have to manage our life to make it successful. I give example of some of the successful people. Among them, Amitabh Bachchan is also there. And one of his very famous video, that if life is there, a struggle is there. If a struggle is not there, then there is no life. I like this because challenges, struggles are the part of life, but how to solve or address these struggles, that depends on the critical thinking, intellectual thinking, and that may help us, in solving problems, any type of. So, how to develop this intellectuality, that is very, very important. So, it comes into play in a wide variety of circumstances. Our country is a democratic country. So, as a citizen of a democratic country, it is important to think critically and do background research each time, whether it is election, whether it is exam, whether it is any task to do, which is, coming up, or when there is a news story about which you want to be more informed. See, remember the COVID-19 period, how tough it was. And we all have been to this situation perhaps for the first time. How to cope with the situation, initially it was very difficult. But see, we human beings invented everything. Classes started, people managing their life, and we were accustomed to that kind of, caged in life with all critical thinking. As a student, you want to think critically about near term options, such as what courses to take, and longer term decisions, such as how to plan your degree and whether the degree you are planning should be directed towards current employment, future employment, and your own academic interest that may or may not be related to current or potential career. So, see, this critical thinking is related to your life, your career, your future. We all know this is an age of interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. One branch of engineering, science discipline, can be applied to many. Now, it is your critical thinking, your ways of thinking, thought process that may give you a way of dealing with the situation. So, critical thinking involves different kind of activities, analysis, breaking something, a concept, argument, down into its part. Because we human beings are different from animal. How? Because of our powerful mind, brain, thought process, the power of language. So you are expected to think critically when you are asked to analyze a particular subject, a piece of article, some assignment, example, examination. Now, offering your opinion on its validity is important. So you also think critically when you analyze real life situations, such as moving your residence, changing job, or buying a car. See, we teach making resume, CV, how to join a job. And I used to tell the students that, see, while making resume, you have to be very careful. And it is your critical thinking that help you to make a very good soundproof resume. Also, when you join a job, as I said, this is an age of multidisciplinary task. Think of the purpose of the job, the validity of the job. Frisking away from the job or leaving the job and joining different job is not going to help you. This may give a bad impression when you write in resume. So before joining a job, you must think that what is your, quality, how much you can do. That is the practical, critical thinking with all analysis. So see, there are several examples like creating your own solution to an unexpected problem. Life is a kind of, what I can say, riddle. What happened to the next minute? Nobody knows. Some problems are created, some are unexpected. Now, how to deal with those unexpected problems again depends on your mind, capacity, critical thinking, using pros and cons to make a decision. This is a tough task. How to make a decision, making assumptions about a person, again, that is a kind of critical thinking. Sometimes we human being, we take, immediate decision about a person that he or she is not good, but we should give some time to understand a person. And sometimes we have this power, caliber to understand a person very shortly after a short meeting, unthinkingly applying a bias. So, if you want to rate yourself with such examples, you go through this question and ask yourself. Introspection is very important to know yourself. First, to know yourself. Because, see, the most prominent question during your interview is tell us something about yourself, your weakness, or your strength, right? Your weakness or strength. Now, what kind of weakness and what kind of strength you will share with the board? So, critical thinking is also formulate your question, gather your information, apply the information, consider biases, assumption, consider the implications, explore other points of view. This life is more than a research. As in research, we think again and again, we ponder a lot, we consult lots of, literature. Similarly, for our life also, formulating questions that today I am doing this, what will be the implication, repercussions? Gathering information. See what kind of friend you have. That is also very important. Positivity. That is the food of life. That is the food of your mental health. And applying the information. That is adding information to your knowledge. And also considering the implications and exploring other points of view, because you know that you have to face group discussions, role play, even these are the interview methods. Knowing other points of view, that is also part of critical thinking. that is the solution of several problems, rational of your thought, judgment of any issue. So these are the questions. Well, UNESCO defines critical thinking as a process that involves gathering information, asking questions, sorting relevant facts to reach credible conclusions. So, critical and creative thinking are two sought after competencies in this competitive and dynamic world. These are useful in an individual's life at each stage and help them to be more productive in all phases of life. Well, overthinking is bad, but fruitful thinking, knowing other, discussing, knowing people, this will enhance your potential in terms of everything. Now, there are scholars, renowned scholars, who have provided definitions of critical thinking, cognitive process, and they are Michael Scriven. He is an American philosopher. And what he said, or how he defines critical thinking, that the intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating information gathered from or generated by observation, experience, reflection, reasoning, or communication as a guide to belief and action. I will also talk about belief, BELIEF, belief. What is belief? It is not belief, belief. The rational we created, we developed. Rational is that someone is bad, and we will develop this belief, and entire thinking process depends on that belief and accordingly action. Robert Ennis, professor emeritus at the University of Illinois, what he says, he describes critical thinking as reasonable, reflective thinking focused on deciding what to believe or do. What to believe or do. And then Diane Halpern, a cognitive psychologist and former president of American Psychological Association, that is in short known APA, that is the style of writing research. And she says that the use of cognitive skills or strategies that increase the probability of the desirable outcome. See, probability of a desirable outcome, how important this is, and how beautifully Diane has defined this. Desirably, outcome. What you desire, and that is the outcome. We all know the proverb, man proposes and God disposes. Man proposes, God disposes, and we have to accept it. But why not? We train our thought in a way so as to get a desirable outcome. So there are 8 critical thinking skills. You know, analytical thinking involves evaluating, you can say data, you can say literature, you can say material from multiple sources in order to come to the best solutions or conclusions. Analytical thinking allows people to reject cognitive biases and strive to gather and analyze intricate subject matter while solving complex problems. So, analytical thinkers who thrive at critical thinking can, identify patterns and trends in the data, material, or in life. Various patterns and trends. Give some time to yourself. Think over the situation you are in, pondering into the situation, trying to get best out of that. I'm also a trainer of neuro-linguistic programming. In short, that is about searching yourself and break down complex issue into manageable components. Sometimes we say impossible. You all know when breaking I am possible. It is all your state of mind because your mind is your real being. If you think you can win the game, yes, you can because mind is your real self. So, how to break down complex issues? Recognize cause and effect relationship. If you are doing this, what will be the implication? Always think. And for young, it is very, very important. Evaluate the strength of argument and evidence. A healthy argument is always good for developing your character, for enhancing your, brain power. So, a strength of arguments will polish your critical thinking. Open-mindedness. Yes, very important aspect. I have seen in my life people, not flexible, very rigid, conservative, not open to other. So open-mindedness is the willingness to consider new ideas, argument, and information without prejudice. It is said that, well, this is generation gap. If you ask me, I will say there is no generation gap. It is all mind gap. Don't you ever realize that your grandma, grandfather, they are very modern, they are having modern thought, though they are having the age of 60, 70. What is this? There is no generation gap. They can sit with you, they can play with you, they can laugh with you, and they can dress up like you. So, this critical thinking skill helps you analyze and process information to come to an unbiased conclusion. See, I am telling you again and again that critical thinking is a scientific way of thinking, objective thinking, unbiased conclusion. Part of critical thinking process, is letting your personal biases go, taking information at face value and coming to a conclusion, based on multiple points of view. That is open mindedness. That will make your life easy. So, open minded critical thinkers demonstrate willingness to consider alternative viewpoints. Sometimes, what happened, the young student, they fail, in some test, in some competition, and they think, life is over. It's over. I have seen several. Well, life cannot be over so far you are alive. This is just a kind of activity you have faced. Failure is not a failure. You consider that is your concept of failure. Failure can be a failure. Failure is a failure when you stop doing anything. But when you become flexible and you learn a lot from your failure, then it is not a failure. So, willingness to consider alternative viewpoints. opening a venues for your successful life, ability to suspend judgment until sufficient evidence is gathered. Yes, in communication, we teach. Don't make decision or don't take decision in haste. Don't make any universalization statement, generalized statement. You wait for the right moment, gathered evidence, and on a very strong base, you make any judgment. That is the part of critical analytical thinking. Receptiveness to constructive criticism and feedback. See, in IIT, I have seen bright students are coming straight from their school. I also, I have felt that most of them, they get depressed very shortly after joining IIT. Why? Because they are not ready to accept any kind of criticism. In a small school, he or she is the brightest student. But coming to the IIT, almost like ocean, finding himself or herself, in a situation where the sky is the limit. So also learn how to face criticism, how to accept criticism, and how to accept feedback in a very right manner. Flexibility in updating beliefs based on new information. So, belief right from childhood, you have developed the habit to eat a particular food. You don't like, uh, you know, any other kind of vegetable food item that is not the part of your life. Changes, update it, enhance your belief based on new information as mobile and all other things, get updated. Similarly, you update your life, right? So, what are the key aspects of problem solving? What is problem solving? A challenge that comes to your life without telling you and without proper, solution. So clearly defining the problem, try to understand the problem, never be a panic. This is not going to help you. Gathering relevant information. See, I'm repeating this again and again. Relevant means, related information. Brainstorming potential solutions. Yes, you talk to other. You try to get other way out. Evaluating the pros and cons of each option. Implementing and monitoring the chosen solution, which could be the best solution. Reflecting on the outcome and adjusting as necessary. That is why I am focusing more on open mindedness and flexibility. Reason judgment. What is reason judgment? It is a key component of higher order that involves making thoughtful decision based on logical analysis of evidence and thorough consideration of alternative. This critical thinking skill is important in both academic and professional settings. Key aspects, reason judgment include what are those? Objectively gathering, analyzing information. Objectively means with a detached way, not biased, not prejudiced. evaluating the credibility and relevance of evidence. Anything happening, taking place in your life, evaluating the credibility, considering multiple perspectives before drawing conclusion. See, again, this is a kind of repetition I said earlier also. Don't draw any conclusions so early, making decision based on logical inference and sound reasoning. That this sound reasoning is the criticality of your mind or thinking. Reflective thinking. What is reflective thinking? What do we mean? So it examining one's own assumption and cognitive biases. That is reflective thinking. You are reflecting your thinking, considering diverse viewpoints and perspectives, synthesizing information from various experiences and sources. This is also, we have, we have nuclear family these days, and the youngster I have seen mostly, confined to the four wall, playing with mobile and all other, but not ready to mix up with relatives and the family members. Mixing with family members and the relative is also a way to learn the ways of the world. So, synthesizing information from various experiences and sources is the way that is reflecting thinking. Applying insights to improve future decision making and action. Well, I have a serious observation that maturity has nothing to do with age. Even an 8-year-old child can be very mature. But how to improve insight? And for this, you have to think substantially with your act, with your mind, with your experience, continuously evaluating and adjusting one's thinking processes. And I always say, I have seen several lives that life is not a bed of roses. Life is full of thorns. Life is very challenging. Life is a kind of management that you have to manage, and that is why I gave example of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. And there are several, not only Mr. Bachchan. Communication, we all are aware of communication. Communication is life. Communication is alive. Communication gives us a sense. Communication gives us a direction. So, a strong communication skills help critical thinkers, you know, articulate ideas clearly and persuasively, because communication is an art. And if you don't have good command over communication, I'm sorry, you cannot get success so easily in life, though you are having a high CGPA student. Communication in the workplace is crucial for effective teamwork, leadership, and knowledge dissemination. So, what are the key aspects of communication in critical thinking process? Clearly expressing complex ideas. How many people you have seen speaking very clearly with clarity, the clarity of thought, no ambiguity? I mean, maybe 50%. Sometimes you will be surprised how he or she is speaking, what he or she is speaking, where is the idea. So, clarity of thought leads to clear expression, active listening and comprehension. How you gather things. That is active listening. Listening is a kind of power and is an important part of communication. And this is always advisable. that first you listen, then you speak. Adapting communication styles to different audiences. Adapting communication styles. Learn, advise, a student to know, to listen to other, speaker, orator, and constructing, delivering persuasive argument. As I said, argument is healthy, good argument, not the negative argument. Research is also part of critical analytical thinking. So critical thinkers with a strong research, what is research? Research. So with a strong research skills, gather, evaluate, and synthesize information from various sources of information. This is particularly important in academic settings and in professional fields that require continuous learning. Continuous learning. Research is a continuous activity. Effective research involves identifying reliable and relevant sources of information. What are the reliable and relevant sources of information? And this you can develop with good reading, hard work, evaluating the credibility and bias of sources, synthesizing information from multiple sources, and recognizing gaps in existing knowledge. And that is the gap of the research. Every literature is open, and you have to make research new, original, genuine to fill this gap. So, decision making is the part of this effective, critical, analytical thinking. And we all know that effective, meaningful decision making is the culmination of various critical thinking skills that allow an individual to draw logical conclusions and generalizations. It involves weighing options, considering consequences, and choosing the best course of action. Choosing the best course of action. And the key aspects of this decision making are defining clear criteria for evaluation. Criteria is very important, and it is your thought process that define the criteria while defining your decision. That is why I said making decision is very tough. Gathering, analyzing relevant information. Same, earlier also said. See, relevant information means you have to make yourself update, considering short-term and long-term consequences. This is life management. Managing uncertainty and risk. Balancing logic and intuition. Balancing logic and intuition. See, a critical mind has this faculty of reasoning and logic and intuition. Many of us have this, potential to be intuitive. I have. How? Being very alert. The antenna of your mind is very alert when you keep on thinking most of the time. That is intuition. So, decision making skills are all of the skills you need to make an informed, rational decision. This is very important for your life. Whether in the workplace, this can, look like facilitating a brainstorming session to decide on a new product feature. Brainstorming, any research, even before group discussion, even interview process, means generating ideas, coining the ideas, choosing a candidate to give a job offer to, collecting feedback from team members to ideate a new team workflow, researching market trends to understand how they will impact company strategy. This is all decision making and the part of critical thinking. Networking with an external person to learn how they approach workplace problems at their company, because resolving the conflict, this is one of the very important criteria to recruit a manager. Collaborating with a team member who disagrees with you or to anybody to find a joint solution. Identifying a data, reporting issues, and digging into remedy it. This is the part of decision making. So, some examples of decision making. It is about much more than a final result. Numerous types of skills, go into decision making, including analysis, creativity, collaboration, leadership skills. Analytical skills help you to collect and assess information before you make a final decision. Creativity skill decision making is not just all facts and figure. It also requires creative thinking to brainstorm, creating meaningful thinking. Collaborative skills. What is collaborative? Good decision take into account multiple ideas and perspectives. Collaboration skills help you to find a solution by working together with one or more, you know, teammates. Involving numerous people in the decision making process can help bring together different skill sets, exposing you to other problem solving methods and ways of thinking. That is collaboration skill. Leadership skill, again, one of the important aspects of critical creative thinking and decision making. So, in the process of collaboration, it is crucial for good decision making. And this is the finest leadership quality. Like all skill sets, decision making is a collection of habits and thought processes one practices and hone over time, polish over time, instead of simply trusting your gut. Decision making skills help you analyze the available information, recognize the viewpoints of others, consider consequences, explore alternatives, and assessing the efficacy of your choice. And this is a kind of training that you give to yourself. Sometimes the biggest roadblock in effective decision making is recognizing that you have a decision to make. People often assume a problem will go away on its own, or that a big decision is someone else's responsibility. No. If you are a leader in your workplace or hope to become one, it's crucial to recognize the weight of your choices and exercise the appropriate types of decision making skills. Decisive action sets clear goals for your team, cultivates an accountable workforce, and increases productivity and worker satisfaction so your team set for success. This is, part of all decision making. Leaders handle countless decisions that have ripple effects throughout the workplace, even seemingly unrelated choices about finance, logistics, and employee morale can have widespread impacts on each other. That's why careful decision making is crucial to develop effective management skills. And as I was saying, that life is a management. Some important, aspects, decision of leader in the workplace, choosing a new supplier. How to take decision while choosing a new supplier. And you all are engineers, you will becoming manager also. Selecting a candidate for a job position. Prioritizing new product ideas for launch. Creating action plan. These are the various skills, acquired habits, drive that the decision making process. And these are very, very important. So, uh, this problem solving skills, reasonable, critical thinking, scientific literacy, this is all absorbing, and applying data to task at hand. In addition to aiding informed decision making, problem solving skills are attractive to potential employers. A survey found that 87% of employers requires problem solving skills when evaluating new business school hires. Yes, in management, it is very much there. If you are not sure how to hone this set of abilities, start by doing, your research, introspection, then talking to other, exploring market. Often, the first step to solving a problem is gathering the necessary information and context. Only then can you interpret data and draw connections between past experiences and your current situations. To understand where and how you can improve. This is a very important part. Time management skills. There are few who are very punctual. And punctuality is the soul of success. So time management and decision making go together. The stress of urgent, high pressure decision can incite tunnel vision and binary thinking. Binary, black and white, the opposite. And the resulting poor choices often lead to even more stressful scenario. On the other hand, scheduling and budgeting your time requires you to make many careful decisions, like how to prioritize your task. But doing so will improve your decision making abilities in the future. This is very important as we are talking about creativity or critical thinking. If a decision stumps you, you might need to think outside the box. Creativity helps you ideate possible solutions beyond what is most apparent. After you have done some brainstorming, problem solving strategies can help you identify the most reasonable options. So, if you want to improve your creativity, effective time management might come in handy here too. Studies show that calm, low intensity emotions aid in broadened thinking, whereas passionate, high intensity emotions encourage a narrower scope of attention. Balancing the two is vital for effective decision making. Emotional intelligence is skill, and this is one of the important part of soft skills also. Since emotions, we are not artificial intelligence, we are real intelligence. So, since emotions significantly affect your thinking, you might consider them as obstacle to good decision making. But there is significant evidence showing that emotions are not only helpful for making decisions, they are vital. Emotion may assist the mind in compacting experiences and lines of reasoning into gut reactions that allows for split second choices. So the key to interpreting these emotions into actionable ideas lies in your emotional intelligence, means how to control your emotions rather than suppressing your feeling, making best use of your emotion. So collaboration skills, uh, it is a kind of, as a leader, I can say, as a leader, your ability to facilitate communication and set common goals. Delegation of authority is another key factor of collaboration. Delegation takes part of workload of your plate, preventing you from developing decision fatigue that may impair your choices. It also shows your team that you trust them, leading to reduced stress, increased motivation, and gathered job satisfaction. Foresight and planning skills. It is one thing to know where you are going, it is another to know how to get there. Planning and strategies. A strategic foresight will ensure you and your team execute your decision without a hitch. These skills are especially critical when building a future minded organization. So, to understand how you will reach success, you must plan a careful route, mapping potential outcomes and creating contingencies based on current trends. So, decision paralysis often occurs when you have too many options and don't know how to predict their results. See, I mostly make jokes. There was a time when people used to have two, three clothes, but now our wardrobe is overflow, because of clothes. We forget some of the clothes. So when you have number of options, it is difficult to take any choice. I mean, lighter way nicer. So responsibility brings with it countless choice. There is no one size fits all decision making procedure that guarantees success. But some practice consistently ease the process and improve outcomes. These simple tips will improve your decision making skills so you can feel confident in your choice. Confidentiality or earning confidence is again a kind of art and with continuous practice. It is not in one day that you will get. So, workplace flexibility involves adapting to changing circumstances and expectation on the job, even in your college life. It requires the willingness of both the employers and the employees to be open minded and willing to change how work gets done. Understanding flexibility in business can enhance your workplace experience and optimize productivity. This is the importance of workplace flexibility. Analytical skills, are the traits and abilities that allow you to observe research, interpret, is subject to develop complex ideas and solutions. When you use several of these skills together, it's analytical thinking. Doing so many things, one at the same time is an art that is analytical thinking and skills. You can apply analytical thinking in many situations in both your professional and personal life. Analytical thinking often involves trial and error and other systematic processes which allow the thinker to reach a reasonable conclusion. Those with practical analytical thinking skills can quickly analyze a situation, topic, problem, and often work well in a team to accomplish the goal. Many companies, adopt one or more modern business strategies. Investigating skills help professionals collect relevant data and drive conclusions. So, the ability to achieve goals in the workplace requires collaboration with others. And it depends then how you are adjusting yourself. Effective communication, as I said, very, very important. Negotiation and persuasion, very, very important in the sense that there are many situations where you may need to be a negotiator. You might be involved in negotiating a job offer, asking for a raise, rallying for a budget increase, buying or selling property, or closing a sale with a customer. They all call for negotiative skills if you want to be, successful. Well, I'm just moving a little bit fast. So commit your decision. Once you have decided a course of action, give it all. Avoid analysis paralysis. It is wise to seek out relevant information. Weigh each option pros and cons. Measure the result and learn the right outcome. Better decision makes better leader. So try to make a better leader, a good leader for your work. And in my opinion, Vivekanand is the real God. Arise, awake, and stop. Not until the goal is achieved. Believe in yourself, and the world will be yours. First, develop faith in yourself that will give you confidence and also, you know, an insight to take decision. Take a moment to ask yourself, who are you? How well do you know yourself? What are your good qualities? What are your weakness, fear? What is your goal? Without knowing the goal, without your knowing, plus and minus capacities, how can you go for a travel plan? You must have heard of, this proverb, "अब पछतात होत क्या जब चिड़िया चुग गई खेत." This is a belief system. This has been coming since ages. This is belief system, and every judgment is based on this. कि अब पछतात होत क्या? When everything is lost, then what is the use of crying on this split milk? But this is wrong. Change your belief system. Develop your new belief system with logical understanding, with your feeling, opinion, conviction, massive belief. Your interpretation does matter. Roof of belief. This is also said, "Jitna chadar utna hi pair pasaru." Don't think of very high thing. Why? Why can't? If I can work, I can stretch myself to get the maximum. So, pessimistic rigidity is that when you control your potential. But optimistic rigidity is when you release your potential. Similarly, pessimistic rigidity, control paradigm, and optimistic is released paradigm. Pessimistic rigidity, potential, control. Optimistic, potential, explore. Pessimistic rigidity, impossible. Optimistic, I'm possible. Pessimistic, insufficient references of failure. Optimistic, sufficient references of success. Well, physiology, impact on psychology in emotion is very, very important. And this, nahi shuptasya sihasya pravishanti mukhe mriga, means if you are not making effort to get anything, you can't. So your physiology plus psychology is equal to success. What you think from here, your motion plus emotion is equal to success. Your action and perception is equal to success. Negative emotion plus opposite action is equal to success. So, physiology and psychology together are the root for success. Well, with this, just a minute. So you try to, recreate, rewire, reframe yourself to get a good life, successful life, ahead in your future. With this, my best wishes. Thank you very much. And anytime in life, you know, never lose your faith in yourself. As I said, your mind is your real being. You are the real hero. And the moment till you fight, you will gain the reward. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Any
so much, ma'am.
questions? Any
Thank you so
questions?
much, ma'am. That was a really insightful presentation. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and knowledge on the subject. And now we will open the floor to question everyone. So if you have any question, then please raise your hand and you can engage directly. Or you can also type your question in the chat box and then we'll answer that. Please raise your hand if you have any question.
It's 8 o'clock now. Your hostel is waiting for dinner, right?
Yes, ma'am. Guys, if you have any questions, then please raise your hand or you can also type in the chat box.
Perhaps there is no question.
Yes, ma'am, I guess the session was so wonderful. Like there is one.
Bias is inevitable. How does one lower bias? Yes, with critical thinking. Yes, this is inevitable. I said we all are human beings. We have both negative and positive aspects. And it is your potential to realize when negative potential is going to be overtaken by the positive, is overtaken by the negative. So, with open mindedness, with your critical thinking, with your flexibility, you can reduce or neutralize or minimize the biases. That is why making friends, knowing friends, talking to others, adjust yourself among them can help you to reduce biases. Everyone has, even I have, you have, because we are humans. But how to reduce, that is also part of emotional intelligence. How to control your emotion, competition, jealousy, inferior complex. This is all human knowledge, human weaknesses. But you have to control this.
I hope Divya that answer your questions. Okay, ma'am, I have one question. It's about like whenever we think of critical thinking and creative thinking, so we think of them in terms of skills. But there's a huge aspect, like I believe our biology also plays a crucial role.
Hmm.
So, there's a like we are attaching the word thinking, and that reflects on cognitive. So how is it something that one can develop, or how come how much the biology affect it? When we are trying to develop such thinking, or when we are trying to develop such skills.
See, something is innate, no doubt. Something is God gifted. The DNA, that is very important. Genetics, you can say DNA, innate quality, that is there. But then I've also seen students very mediocre, but with practice, looking at other, with a sense of, competing with other, develop. So creative is this. When you are trying to acquire, and critical is when you are having already the thinking in your mind to understand what is wrong, what is right, polishing your thinking process. So these two are different. Creating, you're having creativity that is, with the passage of time you acquire, with the passage of time or experience you acquire. But critical thinking, to some extent, it is innate. It is because of your family, your other, but you can develop it. The more you know the world, the more you know others, you will come to at a time where you can explore the world, and you know the hidden thing also, that is critical thinking, that can be the part of critical thinking.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So that answers it, I guess. So thank you so much, ma'am. First of all, now we will end the session, everyone. And thank you so much for accepting our invite. Thank you so much for that enlightening session. And your insights into the creative problem solving and decision making in research have been truly valuable. And
So
thank you so
can I
much, ma'am.
ask you one thing? What is this diplomacia?
Diplomatia is the soft skill society,
Okay.
and this is a collaborative event. It is a collaborative effort brought us by RaSoR, the Ramanujan Society of Research and Diplomatia, the soft skill society of IITMDS.
All my
So,
best wishes to you.
thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for the session.
Whatever I could do for you, I would be happy.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That's enough.
Okay.
Okay,
Shall I
everyone.
leave?
Yes, ma'am. You can.
So good night to everyone.
Good night, ma'am.